Ethan never imagined that working the night shift would change the way he looked at the world forever. He was 26 years old and had recently taken a job at a small gas station just off Interstate 95 near Exit 19 in rural Georgia. The station stayed open 24 hours a day because truck drivers and travelers passed through at all hours. The overnight shift paid better than the daytime hours, but hardly anyone wanted it. Most nights were painfully quiet. Between midnight and sunrise, Ethan might only see a handful of customers. He usually spent his time restocking shelves, cleaning coffee machines, and watching old security monitors behind the counter. The silence was almost comforting. At least, that's what he believed during his first month. Then Thursday came. At exactly Shumwul Sendane Shisenfin, a faded blue pickup truck rolled slowly into the parking lot. The truck looked old, probably from the late Itubalin S or early Itutyolin S. Its paint was dull, its headlights were unusually bright. Without hesitation, it pulled directly beside Pump 4. The engine continued idling, but nobody got out. Ethan watched through the front window. 1 minute passed, then 2, then 5. Finally, the truck backed away from the pump and disappeared onto the highway. No one entered the store. No gas was purchased. Ethan assumed the driver had changed his mind. The following Thursday, at exactly Shumwul Sendane Shusenfin, the same truck returned. It parked at Pump 4. The engine idled. 5 minutes later, it left again. No purchase. The third Thursday, the exact same thing happened. By now, Ethan was curious. He checked the security footage from previous weeks. Every Thursday, Shumwul Sendane Shisenfin, same truck, same pump, same 5-minute stop. Not once did anyone step outside. He even zoomed in on the driver's side window. The glass was too dark to see inside. It felt strange, almost intentional. The routine continued for nearly 2 months. Eventually, Ethan began waiting for it. Every Thursday night, he found himself staring through the window a few minutes before. Sendane Shisenfin, like clockwork. The truck always arrived. Never early, never late. One rainy Thursday, business was completely dead. The highway was almost empty. Heavy rain pounded against the windows, while thunder echoed across the trees surrounding the station. At exactly Shumwul Sendane Shisenfin, the blue pickup appeared again. This time, Ethan decided he wasn't going to let it leave without answers. He grabbed a flashlight from beneath the counter, unlocked the front door, and stepped into the cold rain. The truck sat motionless beside Pump 4. Its headlights reflected off the wet pavement. The engine hummed softly. As Ethan walked closer, something immediately felt wrong. There was no movement inside, no silhouette, no shifting in the driver's seat. Still, the engine was clearly running. He reached the driver's window and knocked. No response. He knocked harder. Nothing. Taking a deep breath, he raised the flashlight and shined it through the glass. His stomach dropped. The driver's seat was empty. The passenger's seat was empty. No one sat in the back. The truck was completely vacant. Yet the engine continued running perfectly. Before Ethan could process what he was seeing, the steering wheel moved, very slowly, turning several inches to the left, then back to the right, as though invisible hands were holding it. Ethan stumbled backward. At that exact moment, every gas pump beeped, one after another. Beep, 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 beep. All 4 digital displays changed at the same time. Instead of showing prices, every screen displayed one number. 0417. The lights above pump 4 flickered violently. Inside the store, the cash register suddenly shut down. The overhead lights dimmed. The security monitors went completely black. The entire station became silent except for the rain. For nearly 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then every monitor powered back on. Ethan ran inside. His hands were shaking as he looked at the camera feeds. Pump 6 was empty. The truck had vanished. There were no headlights driving away, no taillights on the highway. It was simply gone. He replayed the security recording. At 3:17 a.m., every camera cut to black. When the video returned, the truck no longer existed. There wasn't even a frame showing it leaving the parking lot. The footage looked as though it had never been there. Ethan barely finished the rest of his shift. The next morning, exhausted and confused, he told the morning manager everything. The manager listened quietly, without interrupting. When Ethan finished, the man's face turned pale. He walked into the back office and unlocked an old metal filing cabinet. From inside, he removed a yellowed newspaper wrapped in plastic. The headline read, "Family Killed in Early Morning Highway Crash." The article was dated October 1998. According to the report, a family of 4 had been driving north on Interstate 95 in an old blue pickup truck. Before continuing their trip, they had stopped at the very same gas station. Witnesses remembered seeing the truck parked at Pump 4 shortly after 3:10 a.m. Minutes later, at exactly 上午10:17, the truck was struck head-on by a speeding semi-truck several miles north of exit 19. No one survived. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. He looked at the faded newspaper photograph. It was the same truck, same faded blue paint, same dent above the rear wheel. Even the cracked left headlight matched perfectly. The manager quietly folded the newspaper. "I've worked here 20 years, he whispered. "You're not the first night clerk who's seen it." Ethan asked why nobody had ever told him. The manager sighed. "Because everyone who sees the truck quits within a week." Ethan laughed nervously. He wanted to believe it was just an old ghost story meant to scare new employees. But something still bothered him. "If the cameras never record it," he asked, "how did anyone know it always stops at Pump 4? The manager stared toward the parking lot, then answered softly, "Because every person who's worked the Thursday night shift describes the exact same thing." Neither of them spoke again. Ethan finished his coffee and went home. He never worked another overnight shift. Months later, another employee replaced him on his very first Thursday at exactly 上午3:15. a faded blue pickup truck quietly pulled into Pump 4. It waited 5 minutes, then disappeared into the darkness without buying a single drop of gas. Emily had always enjoyed long road trips. She was 28, lived in California, and had driven across the western United States more times than she could count. She trusted empty highways more than crowded cities. But one drive across Nevada became the last trip she ever talked about. It happened in late October. Emily was driving east on Interstate 80 after visiting a friend. She had underestimated the distance and found herself alone on the highway after midnight. The desert stretched endlessly in every direction. No towns, no lights, only the sound of tires rolling over the pavement. Her phone signal disappeared nearly an hour earlier. The GPS still worked, but even it seemed delayed. At exactly 2:27 a.m., a roadside sign appeared. Black Rock Rest Area, 1 mile. Emily hadn't seen another car in almost 20 minutes. She decided to stop. The rest area looked abandoned. A few dim lights buzzed overhead. Only one old white semi-truck was parked near the far end of the lot. Its engine was off. No driver in sight. Emily stepped out. The cold desert air felt strangely heavy. Not windy, not silent, just wrong. She walked toward the restroom. The automatic door opened slowly. Inside, everything looked clean, almost too clean. No footsteps, no voices, no running water. She entered one of the stalls. While washing her hands a minute later, she heard a woman's voice behind her, soft, barely louder than breathing. "Don't leave yet." Emily froze. She looked into the mirror. Nothing. She turned around immediately. The restroom was completely empty. She searched every stall. Nobody. Trying to calm herself, she laughed quietly. Maybe she imagined it. Maybe someone had spoken outside. She rushed back toward the parking lot. The moment she stepped outside, the truck was gone. Completely gone. Emily stopped walking. She hadn't heard an engine start. She hadn't seen headlights. The truck had simply disappeared. The parking lot was now completely empty. She quickly unlocked her car and drove away. As she merged back onto Interstate 80, she checked the rearview mirror. Nothing unusual, just darkness. 10 miles later, her GPS screen flickered. The map froze, then turned completely black. A second later, white letters slowly appeared. "You left someone behind." Emily slammed her hand against the screen. The message disappeared. The GPS restarted as if nothing had happened. She whispered to herself, "No, no, this isn't funny." Then she noticed something. The inside of the car suddenly felt much colder. Her breathing became visible. She looked into the rearview mirror. A woman was sitting in the back seat. Pale skin, long black hair. A thin smile stretched across her face. She wasn't blinking. She was staring directly at Emily. Emily screamed. She slammed on the brakes. The tires screeched across the empty highway. The car spun slightly before stopping. She jumped out, shaking violently. The back door was still locked. She forced herself to look inside. The seat was empty. Nothing. No footprints. No one hiding. After several minutes, Emily convinced herself it was exhaustion. She kept driving. But now, every few miles, she heard breathing. Not her own. Someone else's. Slow, patient. Always from the back seat. She refused to look. Nearly 40 minutes later, she reached a small gas station outside. A tiny Nevada town. The old clerk behind the counter stared at her face. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Emily laughed nervously. "I probably just need coffee." The clerk noticed the highway dust covering her car. Then he quietly asked, "Did you stop at Black Rock Rest Area?" Emily slowly nodded. The man's expression changed immediately. His hands stopped moving. His face turned pale. He leaned closer. "Did you hear a woman?" Emily couldn't answer. He continued anyway. "Did you see her in your mirror?" Emily stepped backward. "How do you know that?" The clerk sighed. "Because you're not the first." He looked toward the dark highway outside. People who stop there all tell the same story. They hear a whisper. They leave, and then she follows them. Emily whispered, "Who is she?" The clerk looked uncomfortable. "Nobody knows for sure, but 50 years ago, a young woman disappeared from that rest area. Police searched the desert for weeks. They never found her, only her suitcase. Since then, drivers keep bringing her back." Emily forced a smile. "This has to be some local legend." The clerk didn't smile. Instead, he reached under the counter and handed her a small silver cross. "Keep this with you until sunrise." Emily thanked him and left. She wanted nothing more than to get home. For another hour, nothing happened. She began relaxing. Maybe the old man was simply trying to scare travelers. Then her phone rang. "Unknown number." She answered. Silence. Then, the same whisper. "Why did you leave me?" The call disconnected. Her phone battery instantly dropped from 60% to 0. The screen went black. At that exact moment, every light inside the car shut off. Only the headlights remained. Then, something hit the roof. Once, twice, 3 slow knocks. Boom, 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 as though someone was crawling across the top of the vehicle. Emily pressed the accelerator. The car reached 90 miles per hour. The knocking continued, then suddenly stopped. She didn't slow down. She kept driving until sunrise. When she finally reached home, she searched every inch of her car. Nothing. No scratches. No footprints. No evidence that anything had happened. Weeks passed. Life slowly returned to normal. Until one evening, she was cleaning the back seat. Under the passenger seat, she found an old photograph. It wasn't hers. The picture showed a young woman standing beside a highway rest area. On the back, written in faded ink, were 6 words. "Thank you for taking me home." Emily immediately drove to the nearest police station. She handed over the photograph. The officer looked at it for a long time, then quietly asked, "Where did you get this?" Emily told him everything. The officer opened an old missing person file. Inside was the exact same photograph. The same woman, missing since 1976, last seen at Black Rock Rest Area on Interstate 80. The officer looked at Emily and whispered, "We've never recovered this photo." Emily left without another word. She never drove Interstate 80 at night again. Years later, travelers still post strange stories online. Many describe hearing a whisper inside the restroom. Some report seeing a smiling woman in their rear-view mirror. And every once in a while, someone reaches the next gas station carrying an old photograph they swear they've never seen before. The locals always say the same thing. She isn't trying to hurt anyone. She's only trying to find someone willing to bring her home.